Welcome to Black and the Black Times Infinity. I'm your host, Cronus. Prodigy is out today, and so is Stitch and Old Ninja. On my left, your boy Blue. That's not even an intro, man.
I know it's the intro. I'm trying to do my Ozzy impression.
Okay, and we have two guests with us today. First one will be...
Hey, what's going on? I'm Sean. I'm a bass player for the J Trees band.
Yeah, that's a nice intro.
I know. Top that.
And also...
The second person, my name is Jason Trees, and I'm also in the same band, J Trees band. I guess you could say named after me, but I'm not the one who does all the work. It's the whole band is everybody, which makes it a sort of a hybrid type of interesting band.
Yeah, you guys are a really interesting band. We met you during, was it SFP week? It was the last day, right?
Yeah,
Blue
last
was
day.
there. Yeah, and you were at a place called the Bistro, and it was in Hayward, which is like one of my favorite bars to go to.
Yeah.
Um,
Two.
yeah,
I was there once, but
they have the younger that's there. Plenty of the younger.
there?
Yes,
Yeah,
they do.
they
Most people don't even know about that.
Yeah, I didn't know they had that there.
Awesome.
Do they still have it?
No,
Yeah,
it's all
gone.
gone. Jason's like, what the
Yeah.
fuck are you guys talking
Hey,
about?
what's
It's like
on here?
it's like one of the I guess most popular beers on the planet. You can only get it during a certain time frame, and it's during SFP week. And the Bistro is one of the few bars in the Bay Area that gets it. So.
Yeah. It's like limited pours and like they usually tap out like in a day. Like that's how crazy it is. Like if you go to they make it at Russian River. If you go to Russian River to pick it up, the line's like 5 blocks long. Like
It's like a Black
insane.
Friday almost.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
So Black Friday of beers. That's good.
Black Friday. Really? That's crazy. Shoot.
And people sell them on eBay. Like they'll buy like a growler and sell on eBay for like hundreds of dollars. And people buy them. So crazy.
Yeah, they will.
Shoot, we need to make our own J Trees.
Yeah,
J
yeah.
Trees Winery. I know they do have, I think it's called the J Cellars, a winery. I always find that on Facebook when you type in our name, J Trees. But then we pop up. I think that's what it's called, but it's like I'm doing advertising for them. So.
Yeah.
That's all good. Yeah. We give out all kinds of free advertisements on this
Yeah,
podcast. So,
that's crazy.
so you're the band. Explain the kind of music that you play, because it was really interesting mix of music that I was listening to when you guys were out there. I thought it was amazing. So
That's cool.
go ahead and explain it.
Well, let's see what Sean has to say.
Yeah, well, I kind of see it as kind of a rock band at its core, but we do a lot of jazz kind of experimenting. So I guess you could call it sort of a fusion band, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I think that was a pretty good way to explain it. I always tell people we're a rock band because in the past when I used to tell people, I used to be like, oh yeah, we're a jazz metal blues fusion rock band. They'd be like, what the hell is that?
Yeah.
So eventually I was just like, you know what, I realized we're just core, like how Sean said, we're a rock band, but usually I tell people like I'm a jazz fusion guitar player. Like, that's how I am. I can also play metal and things like that, but I guess the best way to describe it is it's rock, but mixed with jazz fusion. It has a little bit of everything for the ear.
Yeah, because as you're playing, you can tell like definite influences in there in your music. Like I hear a lot of like Hendrix in there. Like sometimes it's like it's pretty cool. And
That's
it's
nice.
like progressive metal in there as well. So it's like
Yeah.
a really interesting mix. I thought it was fucking badass. So
I appreciate
that's
it.
why like immediately after you guys were done playing, we're like, we gotta get these guys on the podcast.
Yeah.
So,
I guess we're definitely fucking awesome.
Yeah, no, it was a nice venue. I haven't had time, but I need to contact them again. I wanna play there again. It was a really tight spot. I really liked it.
Yeah, and it was really cool because like when we went there, like it was kind of like last minute, and like the crowd in there was real chill, and like there was a band that was on there before you guys, but when y'all guys came on, y'all guys kind of killed it when you were on there.
You know,
yeah.
I felt kind of bad, man. You know, like we really appreciate the comment, but like it was weird because all bands that played were all whole different genres.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
the first
yeah.
band that went on was like this punk rock band. They're called the Perishables. They're our good friends. You know, check them out on Facebook. They're a really good punk rock band if you know, if whoever's into that. And then the next band that went on was called Night Diving. I'm not sure if they're still active, but they were like this alternative shoegaze band. They were not punk rock.
Mm-hmm.
They were not even. They were just like this whole different like indie type of.
That was the
thing.
one with the hippie chick, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
the one
yeah.
real cool.
Stuff, I think, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were such a funny band. They were really cool. I haven't talked to them in a while, but then when we go on, it's like the first band, the drummer, he's like, he's like, here comes the professionals. Like I'm always gonna remember that. It was funny. Like it's not. I just try not to say anything because it's like, I guess we purposely try to make our songs as catchy, but I think that's what every artist should try to do.
Yeah.
You know, because you want to get the most people interested. And, you
Yeah,
know,
that
make
cool
everyone
book.
have a good time.
Yeah.
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 and everybody I think that was there loved the man. So yeah, it was
That's
great.
good.
It
Were
was,
we recording the Beer Fest cast while they were playing?
yeah, actually, so we were recording a podcast. I got one of the tables, and then you guys started playing, and I was like, holy shit, these guys are badass. I just kind of let it record for a while, and I was like, yeah, we just kind of just sat and listened. That's when we decided to just talk to you guys. So yeah, it was really cool.
Oh wow, man, I gotta hear that. That's crazy.
Well, I don't think I put it up because I didn't want to like rip off your music. You know what I mean? I don't want to be like, hey, listen to these guys. It's like, yeah.
No,
On some shitty mic. It wasn't a shitty mic, but it wouldn't have been the sound that you wanted.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That'd been a bad representation of you guys.
Yeah.
No,
yeah.
it was cool, that venue. It's just, it was nice because it was kind of like you could play as loud as you want in there.
Yeah.
And it's a tiny space too.
It was a really tiny space, and I liked it because when we open up, you know, I didn't come up with this. I got this from watching so many different artists. Like, I'm into multiple genres of music, from going from the 40s all the way to up, even hip hop and rap. I love.
That's cool.
I can go on a whole journey with that. But my whole point is that when we open up shows, I don't see that any local band, they don't do it. They just go straight to the music.
Yeah.
And the thing is, what we try to do to show people that we are this, you know, we're ready for those big stages, those festivals and things. We do an intro.
Yeah.
We have that chord just open, the do, you know, make as much as noise, hit one more chord, and then it just sort of just builds up and it catches everyone's attention. It's kind of like a lightning strike.
Yeah.
And then we look at each other and we go to the song.
Yeah.
You know, I guess it's to catch everyone's attention.
Oh yeah, it definitely worked. So
Yeah, I kind of remember you guys doing that because I remember thinking like, wow, is that the end of the song? But then all of a sudden you guys just
Yeah,
started going at it. I was
yeah,
like, oh shit,
it's
it was not.
one of those false
Oh,
endings. It's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Take people on a journey, yeah.
It kind of made me think of that scene from was it Scott Pilgrim versus the World, where the guy comes out and he plays that one song. He's all, this song is about you, and he's like, dun-dun-dun-dun, and he just stops. He's all, dude, that sucked. And then he played like a real song, which was fucking funny. That's what it reminded me of.
No, yeah, seriously. Like, the way I really did actually, what made me come up with the idea of like, hey, we should always open up with this just awesome chord and just like everyone just hit this note. You know, depending on which song we open up with, we'll hit that note, depending on. But what really made me like, okay, we're gonna do this. I was watching, it's kind of funny, I was watching the Purple Rain movie. Okay, the Purple Rain
It's a great movie.
You know,
I never showered.
Prince was the shit on there. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
and so he's totally different now. He's not the same, but he had his rival in the movie, and it was Morris Day, you know, at
Yeah.
the time.
Mm-hmm.
And when they go on stage, you know, he's like, Morris Day's like just fully confident because they do this intro. They're just like, done. They're just like building it up real quick. And it's all, and then it goes to the song. Do, 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 you know, stuff like that. I hope I don't want to, you know, I'm not trying to rip anything off, but
No,
no,
that's awesome, man.
that's how we
Yeah,
kind of,
yeah.
you know, sort of, I was like, hey, you know, I kind of like this. Let's do a chord intro like that and then go to the song.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a lot of bands aren't doing that nowadays.
I
Like,
don't know why.
I think Prince and probably a few others I can remember that actually did that. But yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, people just go to the song. nowadays.
Well, it's almost like they're doing a job. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's like it's a career, but it's just like I'm just here to get shit done and then leave. It's like, all right, you know. So
No, really, that's kind of almost what it looks like.
Kind of like they record a song and they try and duplicate it live for people.
yeah, no.
But I feel like we try and make ours a little more alive. So
Yeah.
that's why we have the jazz element. I guess it's like a little bit of improv with the like structure that we have.
And I love that because that's what like Satriani, he does that, and like for all of his live shit,
Yeah.
it's always different when you hear it.
Yeah.
And then I sometimes with Metallica they do the same thing. They kind of change up some of the
Yeah.
What do you call them? The solos.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, that's
Pretty cool.
definitely true. What was I gonna say about the whole solo thing? I'm always losing my point on this.
Well, I was just gonna say, like, what's cool about the bistro is that it's kind of like a mixed crowd too. So like, there's younger people.
Yeah, there were some older
younger
A
people.
lot of older
yeah.
folks there. Yeah, yeah.
Very
It was-
diverse there.
It's pretty scary though. I was like, I hope we did not scare them, but they liked it. They stayed. It was really nice.
Well, usually at any bar, you're already kind of at an advantage because they're probably drunk. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah.
And,
Oh,
the people like in Hayward seem to actually want to be there. We're
Yeah.
like, we're from San Jose, and like a lot of times when we play the bars around there, it feels like the people are just kind of there. They don't want entertainment. They want to listen to the pre-recorded electronic stuff going on. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
And so it's nice to come somewhere and play and have people really respond to it.
Yeah, because Hayward is got like a really tiny downtown area,
Yeah.
and so when people go there, it's like for a purpose. You know what I mean? You can't really walk around somewhere and like find shit to do. You go in there to go somewhere. So and it's kind of cool.
No, that's definitely true. Like, that's why we don't gig in our city so much. We did that last year a couple times, but I want to say within a 12-month span, because we've only been a band for a little bit over a year now.
Wow.
And we do not really gig in our city so much. The reason why we like to go out more is because we notice in different cities, the audience for some reason appreciate the music more. You know, when we come to San Jose, we realize people are like, you know, they're just kind of like on their time, and then they just kind of there for a little bit, and they kind of leave. But like today, you know, we have a show in our hometown, San Jose. It'll be at Guitar Wars Music Shop. Starts at 6 p.m. We'll be going on around 6:30, 7. But it's kind of nice because now we're telling our fan base, oh hey, we're finally in San Jose. Come on out, everybody. So you know, it sounds kind of cheesy, but you know, it's everyone to come out and stuff like that. But we always love other cities. It's just a lot more better for some reason.
Yeah, that's cool. Well, I do like San Jose, but yeah, it's like it's a much bigger city. You know, there's a lot more people there.
It is.
So.
It's overpopulated.
Yeah,
it's bad.
Crazy. Yeah.
Oh man.
You got all kind of different kind of rich people, poor people.
Yeah. So how did you guys start getting into music? Like when did you start? What made you get into music? Influences?
It's hard to say what it was. Probably like getting girls, right?
Yeah.
Like, man, these guitar players, they seem pretty cool. I remember watching a lot of like VH1, and they used to do a lot of like, you know, an hour-long thing on like some rock band and their stories, and you hear how they had these crazy drug addictions and played wild shows, and then
so you wanted to do drugs? You were like,
yeah,
drugs. Fuck yeah, let's go destroy hotel rooms.
But there was something kind of alluring about that, and then kind of getting to start to play music, and I don't know, just kind of all came together that way. And I guess as I got older, I cared more about music theory and really learning what I was doing.
Nice.
Yeah, that was kind of the same story when I started. I mean, I grew up sort of. My family's not even musically inclined. The only person I have is my uncle. He's a pretty good guitar player, but I mean, no one else is really like musically inclined, and so it was never something where it was like, oh, I'm gonna try this one day. It like didn't even exist as in my whole childhood, even early teen years and stuff. It just never existed. And then I was always listening to rap and hip hop. I never cared about rock, anything. You know, I still like Drake's new album. I still listen to Wu-Tang Clan. I still like, you know, The Chronic when Dre released that.
Yeah.
You know, we'll still sometimes listen to Gin and Juice when we're driving to shows.
We sometimes play that one song. I forget what it's called.
Oh, that's shit. It's from Deep Cover. No. It's from Deep Cover. It's Dr. Dre. It's their first song.
Yeah.
I think it was called Deep Cover.
I think so.
Yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about.
But a lot of that stuff, you know, it hit hard. It was good, but I didn't really start getting into music till about, you know, probably about 5 years ago. I like actually, as I made my music, I got into the instrument, and I don't know. I realized I remember I was in like this community type of group thing, and the man asked me, he's like, you want to play guitar? And I was like, guitar? I was like, I'm like, why? So because we have a band and they need a guitar player, they'll train me. And I was like, all right. So I tried it, and it was way too hard, and I gave up. And I think that's how everybody.
That's happened to me. Yeah, I tried it when I was like, what the fuck?
It's not like butter. You know, when people play, you look and you're like, shoot, it looks like butter. It's easy. You just, you know, it looks like it's just easy. But then when you try it on, I was just like, screw this. So I gave up and I tried singing, and I realized I was like, oh, I guess I can sing it. People like it, but I didn't really know I can sing until years came by, and then eventually I was like, oh, okay, I could sing. Then I came back to the guitar, and I just played by ear and really figured it out. But then in time, like what Sean said, I wanted to get the musical type of aspect of it, and I started learning theory. And I did that because I realized, and this is for every musician, whoever is listening to this, whenever you do, it's always good to learn theory because it's a language you speak. It's like example, you go to Mexico. Okay, you go to Mexico. Let's say you don't know Spanish and you go to Mexico. How are you going to communicate or get around? I mean, you could kind of know the Mexican culture. You might know a couple words like hola, hello, or adios, you know, bye. But what if you're hungry? I mean, how do you explain a sentence to them in just one word to say I'm hungry? You know, yo tengo hambre. Tell them, you know, I'm hungry. There it is. So you learn music theory to have a language to kind of, it's words to fill gaps to get to the point faster. But, you know, like our drummer, you know, he couldn't make it today. He's not, he plays by ear. But that doesn't make him a bad drummer. He's really, I'm going to say it, he's a badass fucking drummer. He's crazy good.
Great feel.
Really great feel.
I was impressed when he was first like warming up.
Yeah. It was tripping me out. Like, he has a Latin jazz feel to him. When he came in the band, he started adding, like, salsa to our music. It's like, what's going on here? But it was cool. And we recently wrote a song that has some Latin in it.
Oh, cool. Nice.
And so, just eventually all that kind of came by. But the whole point of the whole music thing is, you know, it's just there to get to the point fast. Like with our drummer, you know, since he doesn't know theory, we can't use those words. It's like if you know English and someone knows, you know, and you try to go to, you know, Mexico, you're not going to be able to, you know, get across. So you're kind of going to have to use kind of hand signals to kind of, you know, get across, kind of body language. So that's what we do with our
I thought you just speak louder. That's how they understand. Right?
Yeah.
You know?
Sometimes, man. Sometimes the music's too loud.
So when you're talking about music theory, are you talking about like reading sheet music, or is it like understanding like, you know, if I hit this key, it's gonna play this note? Like exactly what do you mean by that?
Yeah, that's a really good
Or the
question.
music lamers out there like myself?
That's a really good question. Well,
the music we play doesn't really. We don't write it out in terms of like music notation.
Mm-hmm.
We don't even like tab it out. We just kind of usually Jason writes something and show me, and I'll work with it, or vice versa. But with music theory, we kind of like we'll sometimes think of the key we want the song in, and the song we was mentioning, the like more Latin one, we had like an idea for. I was just kind of like going over modes again, and just kind of built it around the concept of going from one mode to the next in the correct sequence. So we kind of have like just general ideas, and then try and work with them instead of having very strict ideas of like playing this note exactly here.
yeah, but yeah, that was a really good way to say it. Like modes. I know whoever's listening, they might be like, "What the fuck is a mode?" You
I
know
was
what
gonna
I'm
ask.
saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Mode is one of the most scariest things to learn in music theory because modes is when you have to follow something. Modes are there to create actual. They were invented to create music.
Yeah.
Correct patterns so you don't hit a wrong note. And so, basically, I guess to answer that question was, like Sean said, we don't sheet things out. I mean, I'm pretty sure if you gave me a piece of sheet music or you gave Sean a piece of sheet music, we could figure it out. But we're not readers. We don't like doing that. We also play by ear like everybody else.
Yeah.
But the reason why we, you know, the whole theory thing, it was, I guess, to get the point across. So I guess we only use it to have the words there so we can get to the point faster. Like Sean mentioned something, the key of the song. Now, if everybody's playing by ear and we don't know music theory, we can't say key. So we're going to have to be like, oh, we're on the A string on the D fret, and then I go to the A string again on the first fret, you know? But
it just takes longer to explain.
It takes longer to explain.
Yeah.
So the theory's just there. We learned it just so we have these words saying like, oh, this one of our songs, Latin C, it's in the key. It's actually in D minor. The corresponding key is F major. Boom, right there. Sean and I already know how many notes we can hit. We go from there, and then we just kind of make it. But one thing we encourage people not to do is don't become a crazy music theory nerd where you will get to the point where, and it's okay to be a music theory nerd. We get like that sometimes, and I'm pretty sure there's other people like that, like professors. But what can happen is if you get too strict with musical concepts and theory, and you try to try to base every song correctly, and it has to be off this, and it has to be on this, you'll never be able to get that nice flowing song. So sometimes you do have to go by ear and kind of, that's how the best songs come out. Like, even on the songs on the radio, all the songs in the 80s, 70s, most of those great musicians like Hendrix, he didn't know music theory, and the stuff he was doing was like phenomenal, crazy good, and it shows because of him. Now guitarists, from 70s and 80s and 90s, and like myself today, we can appreciate that, and it's up to a guitarist if they want to learn theory or not.
Nice. So where did you guys learn theory from? Like, did you guys go to college or?
Mine was actually mostly self-taught.
Okay.
It was self-taught, and then kind of tried to look for a job teaching music and teaching guitar. And then once I got a job kind of doing that, it kind of forced me to actually learn sight reading more.
Nice.
I was kind of on the job training. I might have fudged my experience level a little bit when I first did that. But I've just kind of really kind of self-taught myself. I took in a few singing classes and stuff, community colleges, but
nice.
Never had the wherewithal to really just go for a music degree. So
I'm autodidact, so I'm kind of the same way. If I want to learn something, I'll just fucking learn it. So I was never big into college or anything like that. So and
with here, it's kind of the same thing again. It just kind of something where it was just kind of self-taught. I encourage everybody. You could take a class, or you could go on the internet and watch videos.
Yes.
So you have three options. You could take a class, 1. 2, you could look on videos if it's easier, if you like visually. Or 3, you could read books. Now I'm going to say one thing. Books are very difficult. because when you have a question about a sentence, that man isn't there.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of hard. What I did is I tried learning from books, and I was like, screw this. It's way too hard. I'm done. I shredded the book, lit it on fire. True story. Threw it away. I was like, I'm never, and I just realized, like, on guitar, it never ends. And that's how music is. It never ends for piano players. You could just keep making things more complicated and saying different things. It's like our language that we're speaking right now, English. You can say so many words. If you ask me, did I brush my teeth today? I can say yes. I can say yep. I can say yeah. I can say I can even nod my head. You see what I mean? There's so many different answers, and it's the same thing in music theory. There's so many different things, but I guess what I did is, I'm expanding a little too much on it. To conclude the part was I took a class, and I was like, I'm going to get my music degree, and I was like, fuck that. I'm done. After I took the class, I was like, this is way too complicated. And from that point on, the class gave me a little spark. I just took a 6-month class, at a community college, and it was just the introduction of music theory.
Nice.
It was kind of complicated, and from there, when the teacher would give out homework, what I did is I would go on YouTube and try to look up a video where someone can explain it. But I would watch multiple videos to make sure all those guys were saying the same thing, and it was difficult, but mainly self-taught.
See, I kind of wish I grew up in this generation where I could watch like YouTube to figure out things. Cause like a lot of stuff back in the day, when you take a class, like you had to like read the book over and over again until you fucking understood it. But now, like you go on YouTube and there's like 15 different videos you can watch explaining the same subject, which is fucking awesome.
Yeah. You can self-verify on your own.
Yeah.
So are there any books or videos or anything like that you guys, I guess, that stood out to you in music theory that you can recommend to any of our listeners?
It's probably like said too many times, but like Bach's Well-Tempered Clavier, I think is just like an amazing collection of fugues and preludes, and I can only really play the first like C major prelude, and when I get to the fugue part, which I guess for people that don't know, I don't even know how to describe it shortly. It's like playing one thing and then playing it later on at a different time. So you're playing the same piece of music almost at 2 different times and in 2 different places, and it's really difficult for your mind to grasp.
Complicated.
But I guess if you really want to learn it, I would get into that because it's great.
Good.
Books that I used, I guess it was I'm gonna say it. Everyone is a dummy, so I would say grab the book Guitar for Dummies. That was the first book I picked up when I first tried doing guitar, and I was like, fuck that, I'm done. This is way too hard. That one's a great one. I think it's really, really good. Really simple too, because before it gets into the guitar, I do this when I have lessons. I don't have students right now to give lessons. I still am trying to recruit students. I do it for free. I don't really charge or anything.
That's good to know. I got a guitar downstairs out of tune, but
no, man, I'll do anything for free when it comes to music. But that book is so great, Guitar for Dummies, because it just doesn't go straight to it. It first explains what you have on your instrument, why these strings are here, what is that bridge, what is this called? Oh, the tuning, the tuning knobs, these knobs, and then it'll even tell you what it is for an acoustic too. Nice. So acoustic and electric, But then a music theory book I used was it was called Music Fundamentals. I think it was by William
Shatner? No.
William Shakespeare. I don't know.
I can tell you.
Will.i.am. I don't know. Oh man.
No, one thing we kind of didn't explain, like, what instruments do you guys play in the band? Because I don't think we really talked about that for our listeners. So.
I'm the bass player for the band, so I cover all things bass for the most part. All things Sean Briggs. Yeah. I started off playing guitar, and I got I'd say pretty decent at it, and then I got terrible at it because I didn't play. And then I was like, all right, I want to be a piano player, and then I see too many great piano players, and I can't do that. But then just kind of I finally purchased a bass guitar. I found a one for $100 at a Starving Musician, and just kind of I always liked the sound of it, and music where the bass is really prominent and doing something different than just holding the same note all the time. And it just kind of clicked with me, and from there I've just kind of gotten more and more into it. Gotten more higher end basses as I've kind of gone on.
Now you play the bass guitar, not the bass
Oh, I wish, yeah. I play a bass guitar. Right. One day I want to get one of those really large upright basses, but I don't have the space for it or the $2,000 to drop on.
Yeah.
And I feel like if I get that, I actually need to take a lesson from someone who's.
I think it's super heavy too, so.
Yeah, it's not easy to carry.
I've actually wanted to try to play the bass guitar. I tried the guitar and I was just like, my fucking fingers are retarded. I was like, dude, I can play Guitar Hero really good, but for some reason the strings and shit.
Oh, and that same here. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, you put expert on Guitar Hero, and it's a wrap. It's, you know, it's just fun for me, you know, and it's great. But the bass is a really easy instrument, you know. But there might be some people who can argue.
Yeah.
Some people can argue with that. Now, I'm saying it's an easy instrument in the beginning. Okay, in the beginning, it's up to you as a bass player. If you are a bass player out there, you want to become a bass player. It's up to you if you want to make it more complicated, because you can make it just as complicated as the guitar player and the piano player. And that's kind of the stuff Sean does. But we try to work with each other. Now, I think I made it obvious. I play guitar in the band. We have one bass player, which is Sean. One guitar player, which is me, and we have a drummer who didn't make it. But
what's your drummer's name?
Name's Oscar Nuno. I think that's how you pronounce it.
Awesome.
I hope I pronounced it right. I hope he doesn't yell at me and beat me later.
He wasn't ever here. He can't even defend himself. Fuck
it. Oh man, but yeah, the guitar is a kind of a. It could be complicated. It's like piano too, you know, because when you start with guitar, you know, you have two hands. One hand's kind of got to get with those strings, and then you got to build calluses, and that hurts, you know. And then you got to realize you have to work rhythm section with your right hand, or if you're lefty, you know, whichever hand. But you're trying to, like, you know, pick, and you got to get comfortable even holding the pick, and make sure your pick doesn't fall out of your thumb. And you know, there's all those things, you know, in the beginning. But those power chords, you know, those are the basic chords everyone learns at the beginning. But yeah, that's basically it. Sean plays bass.
So hold on. Sean, do you play with your fingers or with a pick?
I'm definitely a finger player.
Okay,
I know, like,
I can't remember when I was watching.
Oh yeah, I know there are pick players, and I think they're like really good pick players. So I don't want to come off as like, oh, fuck picks, but like I like to use my fingers because it's a much more intimate, you know, relationship with your instrument.
You can play strings.
Yeah, there's a lot more you can do with your hands, I think.
Yeah.
A pick limits you, but it also it lets you do some things, but I feel like it limits you more than it expands on your.
Because I would imagine it's easier to hit more strings with your fingers. You have you can use 4 of your fingers to like.
Yeah, I can use like different harmonies and stuff. And even back when I was doing guitar, I did a lot of acoustic stuff and just was really all about fingerstyle playing.
Nice.
So it's just kind of like a natural move over. But yeah, just like a lot of being able to slap the bass. I find like I don't know. I like to hit my thumb on things now, and like on drums or whatever. It kind of feels just right to like smack things with my thumb.
Like Stu Ham, he does that, right?
Oh man,
I'm not really familiar with Stu Ham.
He's like a famous bassist.
What about
I might have seen him. A lot of like Stanley Clark is what I'm into.
Larry Granum, Victor Wootman.
Victor Wootman, I know him. I actually saw him in
Yoshi's.
Yeah, in Yoshi's.
Yeah,
were you there?
I was gonna go, but the person who was gonna come with me canceled, and I was like, "You serious, dude? You think I want to go to Oakland by myself?"
Yeah, no shit.
I like Oakland.
You just don't want to get shot. It's all good.
But the street Yoshi's is on. It's like, no way, man. I ain't going by myself. But you know, to expand more, you know, what Sean said, he covered that really well. But I personally prefer, like, if I had a bass player who was using a pick, I would tell him you have to use your fingers. I'm sorry.
Wow.
Because the reason why is because, like Sean said, and everyone has a different opinion on it, you know, to each its own. But here's the thing with bass. When you get to use your fingers, you have much more options. You have the option to also tap. Yeah. So a pick is not in your way. You can also slap and thump. The pick's not in your way, in between your thumbs and your, you know, your second or first finger. But when you use a pick, it kind of limits it. It's sort of the same thing on guitar, but I'm forced to use a pick because of some of the things we're doing. But what I'll do is, because I also slap on the guitar and tap on the guitar as well, so I just kind of put the pick away somewhere in my finger, kind of like a magician trick. But most artists, sometimes they put the pick in their teeth. Yeah, yeah. It's kind of something they do natural, but it's kind of for show, for style. Yeah. They look kind of cool. People are like, oh, he's got a pick in his tooth. That's kind of cool, you know. Yeah. So yeah.
It's really cool. We just kind of went deep on the music side. But that's cool though, because I want to talk about some of this shit. So yeah, it's really cool. So, coming up, what was like your favorite, I guess, band growing up, or I guess artist?
Influencers.
Yeah, influencers. Yeah, I'll work too.
Lil Wayne.
Lil Wayne, really, yeah. I saw like the funniest thing a while ago about Lil Wayne. It was like you know what The Onion is? It's like a fake news network. Yeah. And so it was a thing about, they said that to get rid of the drug epidemic in Mexico, they just sent Lil Wayne down to Mexico to do all the drugs. Yeah. I was like, damn. Yeah, they do tie all the time though.
Yeah, check that out, man.
I think probably the first band I really got heavy into was probably Rush.
Oh, okay,
It was
nice.
like in high school, and it was like the right like stoner band. And
Yeah,
it was the whole milieu of that.
Wait, sorry, not to cut you off. Have you read Ready Player One, the book?
Uh-uh.
Oh, because they make a lot of Rush references in there, like a lot. Like it's deep in that book. You should definitely read that. It's really cool.
What's it called again?
Ready Player One. It's based off in the future or virtuality, like the way life is.
Oh, it's
kind of
like
the
a
Matrix
science
thing.
fiction
Yeah,
novel.
super
Yeah.
science.
Yeah.
Oh,
Really
I'm
good.
into that. It's cool.
They're making a movie out of it. So I think it's
Ready
Spielberg.
Player
I don't need to read it then.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, fuck books. We got movies now.
Yeah, no shit.
Basically. No, but remember, children. Remember, the book always has all the answers that the movie sometimes won't give.
Yeah, that's true. You can never get in somebody's head. Like, it's cool to see an actual dragon, but you can't, books can break down what somebody's thinking.
Yeah,
So I haven't
that's
got
the thing
that.
about
Yeah,
books.
it's definitely on a different level.
Makes you draw your own picture.
But I enjoy
Yeah.
both, so, yeah.
No, I'm not gonna.
No.
Sorry,
It's
kinda
harder
kicked you
to
off.
sit down and read the whole thing.
Yeah.
But what was the question again?
Influences. Favorite band,
growing up.
artist.
Shit, man. Like I said, it's hard to pick from. I guess you got to rephrase the question and ask in which genre first. And no, here I'll make it simple. Let me see.
You can, any genre, it doesn't matter to me, yeah. Say as much as you want.
I mean, I remember growing up, it was just a lot of hip hop. I mean, like, you know, I had sisters, and so they were always playing like TLC.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't want no scrub. Scrub ain't gonna get no love from me. You know, and I'm just like growing up to all that, listening to Sierra and you know, and she kind of died out. She was cool, you know, and they had all these different, you know, early 2000s kind of growing up. It was real different, and you know, but there was always like Alice in Chains always being played somewhere. You know,
Them Bones
all
is
that
one of my favorite
grunge, them
songs.
bones for some reason. Because my uncle, I said, you know, he played guitar. He was always like, he was the rocker in the family, and so I thought that was kind of cool. It was kind of different, but then I don't know. It was a lot of influences. I mean, I love right now. I love Prince. I mean, I like, you know, I love Stevie Wonder. I like listening. Lately, I've been listening to Drake's, you know, last 2015 album. You know, I think what is it? I think if you're reading this, it's too late. I think that's what it's called.
Oh, I think so. I
And
don't even have it.
I mean, that album was fire. You know, there were some good songs in there. You know, I mean, Hotline Bling was cool. It wasn't a bad song, but I mean, I don't know what he was thinking when it came to those dances.
Yeah.
Yeah, How About Bling? Yeah.
And everyone made fun of it. Everyone made fun of it.
But you know what's so crazy about that dance? If you like do it, it's actually kind of fun to do. Like just
Yeah.
kind of like,
You know, like the tennis type of thing. You go
Yeah.
straight to your knee. Like I'm
Yeah.
just like, what the hell is going on? But you know, it's gonna be a funny story to tell. You know, 20 years later from now. But influences are everything. If it comes to rock, I mean, shit, every band. I mean, I listen to really everything, and a lot of people actually do say that. You know, I ask people sometimes, "Hey, what kind of music do you listen to?" They're like, "I listen to everything," but they don't really listen to everything.
yeah.
I listen to everything.
But I mean,
yeah.
I really listen to everything. I mean, you bring it up, and we'll talk about it. Except country. It's the only one I don't
Yeah,
have
sorry, I'm the same way.
I don't have anything against it. It's just in my opinion, I just feel like it sits sort of on the same thing over. But that's how a lot of music is. But
Yeah.
I guess it's just not as pleasing to my ear. But I think it's nice that it's pleasing to some. You know.
Well, I always thought it was interesting. Like back in the '80s, like a lot of R&B songs were originally country songs. Like
Wow.
there was a song by I want to say not Color Me Bad. I can't think of the name of the band, but like like I heard it as a country song. I was like, wait, that's such and such song, and then I like looked it up. I'm like, oh wait, that's their song. Like they actually were the ones that performed it.
There's like one, what was that, Landslide song? It's a country song. Like, I like that song. I think that's probably the only song in country that I like. I think it was by Fleetwood Mac or some shit like that.
Fleetwood Mac was the shit.
Yeah. that
Leonard
was-
Skinner they kind of had a little bit of that country in it, you know, like when they made Sweet Home Alabama.
Yeah.
But that was kind of cool, you know, it was kind of like a rockabilly type of, you know, they added some country in there, even Freebird. You know,
Oh, yeah, that's a great song.
And there's
Yeah.
something bad we do with Freebird. I have to, you know, say it right now. Every time we go to shows and a band's playing, you know,
You gotta
Yeah,
free
yeah,
bird those
Freebird.
motherfuckers.
we just
Yeah.
we Freebird the shit out of everybody. And then,
We gotta like learn how to play it just in case it happens to us.
That's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. So we have to be careful with bands we play gigs again with because they're going to be like, we're going to get those assholes again.
Yeah.
And the audience knows we'll play, you know, some popular covers to kind of get everybody a little loose.
Yeah.
So they're going to probably be like, Freebird! And we're going to be like, oh, shoot. I don't know.
On the country thing, though, I gotta say the Grand Theft Auto San Andreas.
Yeah.
I actually managed to find some songs that I'm like, it's fun driving around listening to like Johnny Walker Red or whatever.
Well, it's fun running somebody over to country music.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah, it's kind of fucked up, but yeah. That's a great game, by the way.
Oh, man.
Yeah, you ever heard that song by Jimi Hendrix called Machine Gun?
Oh yeah.
He's got this one where it's live. I think it's somewhere in California. But it's like the baddest version of the fucking song. I listen to it all the fucking time.
Yeah, he had some really good songs before I think, Hear My Train Rolling or something like that. It was like one of his last songs, and it was pretty good, but I mean, he was leaking a lot of things in those last songs. I was just like, whoa, dude, slow down. Like,
Yeah.
what are you saying?
Well, he went through a lot of shit, man.
Yeah,
So,
he really did. It's sad.
yeah, definitely died way too young. But, you know, it is what it is. He had great music, so.
Yeah.
It's almost like you don't want to see somebody like that, like, fall off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, somebody just totally go off this. There's been artists like that where they just, like, make great music and all of a sudden they just fucking suck.
Yeah, like Amy Winehouse,
Yeah.
Kurt Cobain, Morrison, you know, and it's sad. I mean, Amy Winehouse was the shit, man. I mean, her voice was phenomenal, crazy. She just sang like soul, man. Everyone loved it. And it was sad, like, you know, like you said, you know, to see someone go down that path so fast and hit so hard and then they're gone.
Yeah.
Have you seen her documentary that they made for her?
Oh, I haven't seen it yet.
I heard it was really good. I haven't had a chance to see it, but yeah, I heard none but positive reviews about it. And it was kind of a sad story how her family kind of, or mainly her dad, kind of drugged her into doing drugs. Like, she was the one that was like heavy influence on her. But it was all in a documentary, which I heard was really good.
Well, I gotta check that out. It kind of reminds me of like Marvin Gaye, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know. Is it true that his father really did shoot him?
That's what I heard.
Yeah.
I can't verify, but yeah, that's what I heard. So.
You're like, hold on, let me pull out the whole laptop. Dude. Let me confirm this. Let me match these fingerprints.
Let me get my DeLorean and go back in the future and see exactly what happened.
It's weird how many people that were like really good artists had really fucked up parents, like Michael Jackson. You know, people like, it's like, damn, it's something happens to those guys.
It's like, it's kind of weird. It's like, not to make a joke, but it's like, do you have to like beat your kid to make him become a good musician?
Beat him into fame.
Beat him into fame.
Well, I think it's that adversity thing. I think that it's something that this generation is kind of losing is that being confronted with adversity and how you overcome that. I mean, obviously you don't want to overcome that kind of adversity, but in general, like dealing with a bully or some shit like that, it's like it can make you a better person. Yeah. A lot of people they want to shield their kids from that nowadays, which I get it. I mean, I got kids, so I want to shield her from a lot, but at the same time, she has to learn how to like fend for herself. So,
yeah, definitely.
Like it's funny. There's a comedian who talked about how like when he was a kid, like when you fell off your bike, you end up like scraping up your knee. But kids nowadays they wear like knee pads, but now they don't have a cool story to tell about a scar on their body. Like, oh dude, this scar right here, I got it from when I tried to like flip my bike and I flipped and
yeah.
I definitely got scars from like riding bikes and shit.
Oh yeah, man. I got the scar right here on the side of my right elbow. I remember I was riding a skateboard because where I live in San Jose, I live. Oh shoot! I'll give you my social security and my address. Where I live is somewhere near the hills, and there's some nice hills. If you like skateboarding, you're totally gonna bomb those hills. And I had a time when I used to skateboard and BMX and stuff. But when I started playing music, I had to stop because I was like, I'm not trying to die or injure myself. Tell my band, oh hey, we're gonna cancel the show because I broke my arm. Sorry guys. But those I remember I don't know how old I was. I think I was about like 9 years old or 11. I mean, I went down those hills from the very, very top, went all the way down, and I don't know what I was thinking. I thought I was able to curve the turn and go right, but nope, the freaking board just slid, power slided, and I just like banged up everything. I'm surprised I can even grow facial hair under my chin because I have a scar under there, but I guess it heals. It was pretty crazy.
Really badass.
Yeah.
But I think it's funny too because back as a kid when you would like run and fall, you end up ripping your jeans and like that's how you got holes in your jeans. Now motherfuckers are paying like hundreds of dollars.
For true religion. Oh, that's crazy.
I got some distressed jeans, but whatever. I got a True Religion though.
No, True Religion ain't bad though. I mean, they're not too bad. Like honestly, I like the shoes that Kanye West is coming up with. The Yeezys. I mean, those shoes are pretty tight. They look pretty sick. I would own a pair.
If they want $1,000.
Yeah,
$1,000, right?
Seriously, yeah. I mean, every time I'm on social media, I always see like advertisements. Like he's really hitting the advertisements hard because it's like, oh, Yeezy shoes. It's like 75% off now. Enter this promo code. I'm like, I think that's a scam.
Yeah,
I don't know about that. It's like crazy. It's like
there's like that one guy who deep fried a pair of Yeezys. You see that on YouTube?
No, what happened?
Fucking dipped it in flour and deep fried.
Dude, did you see the video? So you were talking about going down a skateboard. Going down a hill on your skateboard. You ever seen the video of the guy who does it like on like really steep roads?
No.
He goes like fucking 50, 60 miles per hour down these goddamn hills, right?
Oh
and I'm like, how does this guy not get back a car? Because he's basically going with traffic. And one time a turn too wide, got fucking hit. He didn't die or nothing, but he got pretty fucked up. I was
Damn.
like,
He got
damn.
hit.
Oh yeah, it was bad.
It's on YouTube.
Yeah, it's on YouTube. I'll show you after this is all done. Yeah, it's
Oh
pretty
man, I
fucked
bet
up.
the viewers are gonna be like, "Hey, I want to hear that."
Yeah.
No, actually, we can do a reaction video to that. If you
Oh,
want.
that'd be crazy.
Yeah, we should do that. Because
Yeah, and I used to actually go mountain boarding up near Mission Peak. You ever done that?
Oh, I haven't. I know where Mission Peak's at, but no, I haven't.
They have like I don't know if they still even make them anymore, but mountain boards are like basically it's like a big, it's almost like a snowboard, but it has
Yeah.
all-terrain tires on the sides.
Yeah.
So I used to go up when it wasn't snowing and come down and shit. It was a lot of fun.
That's some cool stuff, man.
Oh, my girlfriend's home. It means we
No,
gotta wrap it
no,
up. I'm
no.
just kidding. No,
No.
yeah, no, it's
No,
fine.
man, that's just my throat.
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
all
he's
it
warming
is.
up.
This is warming up, getting ready for the show tonight.
Industrial music.
No, they're used to it because she does a podcast up here too. So when I come
Oh,
home,
that's
they'll hear
cool,
the same thing. So.
Yeah. So how long have you guys been a band?
Um,
2 days, 3 days?
3 days?
Yeah.
We just formed right now for this. No,
Yeah,
just for this.
like Voltron.
We've been a band for about,
I'll take care of them.
I want to say,
You want beer?
Yeah.
You guys want a beer? No, you don't want one.
I'll take one.
what kind of beers you got?
I got a half. I got a watermelon half. I got an IPA.
Strongest of the strongest.
The strongest. Okay.
Alright.
IPA. Oh man, but we've been a band for about a little over 12 months now. We formed in 2014 in November. It was a solo project I actually started, and I left a metal band I was in. I mean, I used to play some serious metal, but then I quit it and ended it all because I realized, not to offend any metal fans out there, but metal doesn't sell. Metal is only for a specific audience.
Yeah, it's very small.
And nowadays there's so many metal bands where it's kind of like it's impossible to make it a career,
Yeah.
And so I realized I was like, where the money really is at. Even though it's not all about the money, we love playing music. I mean, I encourage someone to come out to our shows because we put on a show. We're feeling the music. I mean, we're making facial expressions, man. Like if we're having like if I'm having some kind of relations with somebody, we're making some
Making
crazy
old face.
faces. We're making that that face. It's like we're exercising. Now, if we make, we get into the music, we hype everybody up, but what do you have to say about that, Sean?
I don't even know. I think you went off the topic of
I know I did.
when we became a band.
But yeah, we've been a band for about a little over 12 months, but I go a little bit too much off topic. Too many stories. But it started as a solo project, and
So as in just you?
it's just me.
'Cause you said the band's named kind of after you, right?
Yeah, it's called J Trees, or J Trees Band.
Is this a good time to ask if Trees is your real last name?
Trees is my real
Oh
last
shit.
name.
Well, Blue's my last name, so we're kind of on the same
Yeah,
boat.
we're on the same boat, man. But that's real cool. That's cool. I wish, man, that's cool. I remember. No, I'm not even gonna go off topic anymore. We're gonna hit this and then I'll go off topic after.
Hit the mic.
So it went as a solo kind of project, and I was gonna record the EP, do all the instruments by myself, drums, bass, guitars, and vocals.
Mhm.
But then I was like, wait a minute, I need to find a gigging crew.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Sort of like I need to find a band that will be my band for when it's time to play.
Yeah, it's hard to go do it alone.
Yeah, so I found a bass player, and he ended up doing the bass on this EP that we recorded.
Mhm.
I didn't advertise it too much, so if whoever wants to find it, you can find it, but it's very hard to find. It's very bad quality. It came out really bad. I had this R&B type of rapper, hip hop dude do the mastering on it, and
Mhm.
it came out bad because he didn't specialize in that,
Yeah.
and so it kind of sucked. And so then eventually I kind of formed a band. I was like, okay, this is a band. So it was still called J Trees. Then sometime by the summer, it became J Trees Band, and I realized like it was a band because everybody was contributing, writing songs, and that's how it kind of how it started. And there's more to the story. There's a little more to the story. It's a pretty short story.
Briggs, when did you join the band? Were you like part of the original crew, or?
No, I wasn't. I was the guy who replaced the
Hey, what do
other bass player.
No.
Yeah, I think like it was maybe like a year ago is when I first played with Jason. I'm actually in another band as well called the Lucky Suits, and we play more like dance,
Mhm.
R&B,
Like poppy.
like poppy music.
Yeah.
And then we needed a drummer for a gig
Oh yeah.
because our drummer had issues.
Was it
Typical
drugs
story.
related?
Oh, yeah, I'm sure. And then we found Jason on Craigslist, and he went and filled in for the show. And then after that, he's like, "Hey man, we need this drummer. We need a bass player." So he was stealing me from the other band.
I felt really bad because like when Sean joined the band in 2015 in the summer, you know, he was only the second bass player in the band, and I'm gonna say this right now, he's the last bass player whoever's on me in the band. I mean, unless he died, or unless him and I were gonna fight. But I mean, it's impossible for me and him to get in a fight. Like, we're just always bullshitting and joking 24/7. But he's the last bass player. That's it. You know, I call him, you know, the last bass player. You know, he didn't really want to be in the band anymore. It was creative differences. So, you know, it was kind of like I kicked him out, but then he kind of left. It was kind of 50-50. It was
So no,
hard.
motherfucker, I quit.
Yeah, he was like, no, I quit. It was like, no, I kicked you out. I have it in an email. So it was like, but then he's like, no, but I also have it in email and voicemail. I'm just like, all right, you know, all right, cool. So, but him and I are great friends now, you know, the old bass player, everything's good. But when Sean came in the band, it was just like, I felt bad because it was kind of like, I stole him from his other band he was in. And, you know, with the singer, her and I felt like our relationship went to shit. Like, I felt like, you know, and I would be mad too if I was like, hey, what the heck? I bring this guy to fill in my band, and then this guy tries to steal one of my members for his band. Like, you know, and I felt bad. But her and I are on great terms now.
That's good.
You know, and the other band that Sean's in is called Lucky Suits, you know. I think they have some shows coming up in April, so it's going to be pretty cool. They have a nice fusion sound.
Nice, nice.
You could
Lucky
check them out.
Suits.
Yeah, Lucky Suits, like business suits almost.
Gotcha,
Although
gotcha.
I think our actual idea was like suits and cards. So
Oh, okay.
it's kind of
Yeah, it's a pretty good band, you know, and
Yeah.
I was glad when Sean came in. You know, Sean's been in the band for about almost a year now. Almost, you know, it's been about 9-10 months now. So, and when Sean came in the band, things changed a lot. It really like when he came in the band, it was like everything I needed, everything I wanted. He added that like Final Fusion sound to the band that was missing. He was doing stuff where I was just like, what the hell?
Gonna make Sean cry over there. Like, I love you, man.
And then, you know, the last thing for that whole band's history story, because, you know, we've only been a band for a short period of time. I've only had 2 different drummers. Actually, I've had 3 different drummers. I've had 10 different drummers. But not all of them played gigs.
Spontaneously combusted.
Yeah, only 3 of them actually played gigs. One played the first gig. No one remembers that. You could find it on YouTube. Try finding it. It was just type in J Trees Continental Club. It was so bad. I mean, it was such a bad performance. It was bad as in terrible.
Advertising or like bad performances.
Yeah.
Actually, don't even look it up. But
You guys were really good.
All right. Oh, yeah.
and then I had my old good friend come in the band. His name was Chris. His name was Chris Aviles. He was in the band for all 2015.
Wait, his name was Chris Abulous?
Aviles.
Like it was almost like fabulous.
Yeah, it was
That's a
kind of
fucking
cool.
badass name.
Yeah, it was Aviles. It was crazy. And really cool guy, you know, real short dude, light skin, but he had a deep ass voice. I mean, when he answers the phone, I mean, it sounds like you're talking to an old school pimp, man. Like, it would scare me.
Some Barry White shit.
You know, but then you go meet him, and he's the most, you know,
Sweetest guy.
short, you know, sweet, really cool, down to earth guy. You know, he takes pride in that. He's a real cool guy.
That's cool.
You know, but when he left the band actually at the ending of last year, and it was really sad. It was very, very tragic for me because him and I were like childhood friends, and it was like, dude, like you've been my drummer for multiple years. I was like, how are you gonna, you know? But you know, he had to because you know he's doing engineering, you know, at a university. So totally understand if that's what he wants to do. Totally cool. So now we have this new drummer who came into the band, which is his name's Oscar. And he came in on New Year's. We had a show on New Year's.
Oh, shit.
At Stork Club. So it was kind of cool. We've played 9 shows since New Year's until now. And when he came in, that was when I realized this was the lineup I was looking for. Like, this is the official J Trees band lineup. Sean completed it with this fusion funk, neo-soul style. And then I didn't notice Sean had a little metal in him, too. I was like, oh, shit. Sean doesn't play around, too. And then when Oscar came in the band, I was like, shit, this guy started throwing Latin in the music, like cumbias, you know, like all that weird Mexican, you know, dum, 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 you know, like he knows how to drum that. It just tripped me out, you know, it's some complicated drumming. And just both of them really made the band. I would never want to ever replace them.
Nice, nice. Yeah, and I can tell because I listened to some of your early stuff, and it's like way different. I'm not going to say it's bad or good or bad, but it's different.
It's very different.
So, yeah.
It's very different.
I personally like the sound you guys have now.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah.
Yeah, the old stuff was just a little more. It was a little more simple. It had a little more metal to it. More metal.
Yeah. More rigid, I think. Because
more
of that.
rigid.
Yeah. And I like metal, but
Yeah.
I mean, I've heard a lot of metal bands. It's like that's different.
Yeah,
so.
Nowadays, you know, every metal band sounds the same. It's difficult. You know, that's why at least in rock, you can kind of. I mean, we're not really a rock band. We play rock, but I mean, we have a fusion of everything. Whoever comes to the shows, everyone's gonna like it. We'll play at least a genre in there with reggae, some kind of soul, some kind of something that someone will go home happy with. Always.
Yeah.
Like, wow, that band. They tore it up.
Yeah. Sorry, I get stuffy here during the daytime.
Oh
So
no,
just
it's
all
okay,
this fucking
man.
electronics.
I'm getting cooled down now.
All right,
Yeah.
cool.
And it's a really good beer. So right now we're drinking Lagunitas Lucky 13.
Yeah, free advertising.
Yeah, we advertise. Well, everybody. Like we talk about all kinds of shit on this podcast.
Oh,
yeah.
We don't get paid for. I'm just like whatever. It
Just
doesn't matter.
waiting for the sponsors
Yeah,
to roll
waiting
in.
for-
Yeah. Sometime this year we're gonna go for monetization. So.
They're in Petaluma, California. So
Yeah, so this is the interesting thing about Lagunitas is that they used to do this thing. So they have a really nice like bar area or whatever in a restaurant, and so people would smoke pot there all the time.
Shit.
And so it was like kind of like a down low thing, hey, come here, drink beer, smoke some pot. And so one day there's an undercover officer there. He was trying to buy pot from somebody. And so, first of all, like if you're smoking pot and somebody's like, "Hey, can I buy some pot for you?" I'm like, "Hey, you can go away, cop." I mean, like,
I know, like,
asked to buy weed.
Can I buy weed from you, bro? Like, you know what I mean?
Nobody does that. It's like, can I have a hit? Maybe, but nobody asked to buy weed.
Hey, you got that fire? Then you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
You're real. You're not a cop.
Yeah.
But eventually, I guess somebody sold pot to this guy, and so they shut down Lagunitas for a little while. And so they have a beer that after they got reopened, they have a beer called the Undercover Shutdown.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah, they have another beer. If you ever see it, it's called I think it says censored. Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's supposed to be called Lagunitas Chronic, but they censored it after the shutdown. So
They're badasses then.
yeah.
Man,
It's a cool brewery.
It's kind of cool when you're drinking a beer and have like a story. Cause like the night when we saw you guys perform, we were at Magnolia's.
We were all a little tipsy.
Yeah,
But no, we were
everybody was.
all on a different level. So
Well, yeah, you remember how drunk he was, right? He was drunk
Oh
as
man,
fuck.
it was crazy, man.
But yeah, so we went to this place in San Francisco called Magnolia's, and they were pairing
Oh yeah.
the whiskey with their beer. So they had like
Oh shit.
they had whiskey that was soaked in the barrels, right? But then they'll take the whiskey out and then put the beer in there, and they would ferment the beer inside the whiskey barrel. So the beer would take the flavor of the whiskey. So they had them paired together, and so they had like one beer called like Old Pussy Wheel or
No,
something like that.
old Thunder Pussy.
Old Thunder Pussy.
Yeah.
And the story behind that was that there was like a whorehouse down like that was close by where the chick, her name was Thunder Pussy or something like that, and so that's where they got the name from. I was like, oh shit, that's a cool ass fucking story.
Yeah, we didn't know that they were going to give us whiskey because normally you get a beer flight and it's like 3 or 4 little small beers.
Yeah.
So like, we got a beer flight, but it was like $30. I was like, that's kind of expensive for a beer flight. Then we sat down and they brought out 3 shots of whiskey and 3 fucking beers. I was like, holy shit! And that was like the start of our day.
Yeah, that's the start.
Yeah.
That's crazy, man.
So that's why drunk was about.
Yeah, after that whole night, at the Hayward Bistro, it was a story. After everyone left,
What
the
happened?
bartender was still there. I told him, I was like, "What's the strongest beer? What's the strongest you got on tap?" And he's like, "So we got triple IPA." I was like, "What the fuck? That exists? What the hell is that? I don't see that in stores." So he gives it to me, and that thing was black. I mean, it was just dark. It looked like Coca-Cola, basically.
Yeah.
It tastes like coffee, man. It was dark, and I think I had 2 cups of that, and then I had 2 regular IPAs, and then 2 of the triple IPAs, and my band's like, "Hurry up, drink it, we gotta go eat." And I'm just like, "No, man." I'm like, "No more." And I finish it. I'm just like, I was bawling the whole night after that. It was crazy. So don't worry, man. I felt your pain that night too, man. It was crazy.
Plus, you guys were trying to give me your number, and I was not that I was drunk, but it was like a lot of people talking.
It was funny. I liked it, man.
But look, I think I still have your number on my phone. I'm like, I got the number.
It was funny, man. I still remember that. And Rashawn was like, man, he's like, "Yeah, don't listen to him. He's drunk." And then he's like, "Do you not realize that he's giving you his number like 4 or 5 times?" And you're like, you were like holding it, and you were like, "Oh shoot!" You're like, "Hold on, 849." And then you're like, putting it there, and I'm just like, "Oh shoot!" I'm like, "Are we gonna get to the point?" It was funny though. It was all fun, man. I'm glad we met you guys. You guys are some really cool folks.
Yeah, I got definitely an awesome band, and I got some pretty cool as well.
That shit was that was a fun night, man.
That was fun.
You guys ever done a SF Beer Week before? You should find like when you play it on a day of a SF Beer Week, but probably next year what you guys should do is look and see like the schedule and try to play a venue on like one of the bars that are doing the SF Beer Week thing.
It's called SF Beer Week.
Yeah, SF Beer Week. I take the whole week off every year to just get
Nice.
drunk. So
yeah,
that's cool. That's smart.
So basically, what it is, San Francisco, it's actually the entire Bay Area. Like different breweries will release limited edition beers, or like they'll have like some kind of event that's happening, so you can go there and drink as much as you want and be happy and merry. And it's like for a whole like 9 days, so it's pretty fucking epic.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun, especially if you drink. So
Yeah.
you meet that
I don't see
interesting
how
people.
it would be fun if you didn't drink.
Well, some people don't like drinking, and some people are like antisocial or whatever. But I go out usually by myself, like to the city. I'll just take Bart, and I Ubered this year, and that was fucking great. I did Uber Black. I was like I felt like a rich guy. It was great. Yeah, I was just like rolling around like Mercedes and shit like that. But yeah, it
That's
was cool.
man. That's cool.
Yeah, just talking, meeting people. So it's pretty neat. Then I got to see you guys on I think the last day that the second to last day.
Yeah, I think it was a Thursday.
I think it was a Friday. Yeah, no, I think I went out the next day.
Yeah, it was crazy because it was like we postponed this for so many weeks. We
Yeah,
waited like a
yeah.
whole month. It's
Yeah.
all these things that came up, and I'm glad we're finally here though.
Yeah, because
Understandable.
Prodigy's brother died, and then
Yeah.
before so we had to push back by an hour. But then he had to be somewhere, so he ain't fucking here today. But it's all
Yeah,
right.
we know what it's like. Our drummer's not here either.
Yeah. He's at WonderCon right now, so he's at another comic convention.
Cool, no worries. No
Yeah.
worries.
You guys will probably meet him one of these days. We'll go to one of your venues.
Yeah, we're actually our next show after today. Today's gonna be at Guitar Wars Music Shop, San Jose, 6 p.m. But our next show for April is April 12th. We're gonna be at the Boom Boom Room
Okay.
and it's SF. So yeah,
So,
Come
Actually, I think I can hang out. Is that a Sunday?
it's on a Saturday.
It's on a Saturday?
Yeah, I think so.
Shit. I think I can make it then. I can make like the next one you guys do. 'Cause I think that's the day my girlfriend leaves or something like that, or my daughter's still here.
Oh shit.
But after that, it'll be I can come see you guys.
Yeah, we have everything on social media. We're always active. posting.
Yeah, we'll definitely promote wherever you're at.
Yeah.
So,
Cool.
Yeah,
Cool,
so
man.
we'll see you again.
Definitely.
All right, you guys want to wrap it up? We're gonna chocolate banana this right now.
What time? What time is it?
You guys got plenty of time. It's only 2:17.
Damn. What are we gonna do for another 2 hours?
You hang out if you want.
No, yeah, for sure.
I'll show you
man.
some cool videos and we'll react to it. You want to do that?
Yeah, why not, man?
All right, cool. So we'll end on that.
Definitely.
Hold on, I got it.
So you guys want to give out like your social media contacts where people can reach out to you, or listen to your
Definitely,
music,
definitely.
websites?
We will actually be releasing an EP in April.
Nice.
It's gonna be a 3-song EP. It's gonna be beautifully mastered.
10-minute long songs.
Yeah, each song 10 minutes.
Oh,
Pretty fucking
shit.
crazy. But
Nice.
it's the 10 minutes where it's not boring you. It's 10 minutes
Yeah.
where it's like, hey, there's a new part after this, and it all just ties into the song. You can check us out on Facebook and Instagram. Just look up J Trees. J Trees Band, trees as in, you're seeing trees outside in front of your house. If you have trees. I'm
That's
sorry
J
about
dog
that.
trees, yeah.
Yeah.
I got cactus. What the hell?
But you can just look up J Trees Band. I'm pretty sure you'll find it.
It's J dot trees, right?
Yeah, but I used to like advertise as J dot trees. People are like, "Oh, look, it's J dot trees," and it's like,
Yeah.
no, we're not. That's just not the dot, So just look up J Trees Band. You'll find us on Instagram, and Facebook. We're really active. We try to follow back and stuff like that. And yeah, feel free to message us or anything. We'll go from there.
Sean, you got anything?
I think Jason covered it.
All right,
Fuck
cool.
around and get
Thanks for having
smoked.
us.
Yeah, you guys are on SoundCloud too, right?
We have some older recordings on there. They still sound good. You could check them out. Just look in J Trees.
There's 2 accounts though.
It's
So,
the same band.
Oh, so explain that why there's 2 accounts.
Oh no! Here, you know what? Let's hey, you know,
Oh, you wanna wrap this
I
up
think I
now?
gotta go right now.
All right.
No, I'm just messing around, man. We could conclude with this. The old bass player. Now, whoever listens to this is the only way anyone will ever know this, because I'll never say this probably ever again. The old bass player used to run that SoundCloud account.
Oh.
And since he was on drugs, he forgot all the passwords. So
That's hilarious.
I was pissed. I was like, dude, are you serious? Like, take that garbage EP off. So it's still on there. You can listen to it. It's not too bad. It's just the quality isn't so great. It sounds okay. I guess we just
now,
yeah. It's not us. It was 1 year ago,
Okay.
and
you can see the evolution.
yeah, you can
Yeah,
see the
definitely
evolution
can.
in the
Yeah.
other J Trees Band account,
Yeah.
and that one has some other ones of last summer.
Yeah.
No.
So yeah,
J Shrub.
that's that, man.
I'll land on that then. Well, I guess I could play stuff with you before, but whatever. Fuck it. Why isn't it playing? There we go. God damn. I messed up the end of this whole podcast.
I
See
like
that?
this.
It's all
You gotta
good.
redo
That's
it.
how professional I am.
That's how we roll anyway.
Dun, 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 dun. I think think we could play this song tonight.
Yeah, do it.
We actually had this made for us by a guy in Ohio.
Okay, add a beat.